And thank you all for what you do. If it weren't for you, none of us would be elected. None of us would have the opportunity to represent you in Washington, D.C. or Tallahassee. And you have such extraordinary representatives in this area. I want to thank you, because what we've seen happen in the state is remarkable over the last decade. If you think back, when I first ran for the state Senate, I was running against the Democrat incumbent, 30 points down. No one said I could win. And guess what? With your help and prayers, we won with over 20 points. And then, as she said earlier, I was able to chair commerce and economic opportunities. We took Florida from 42nd in the country as a state to start a new business or grow an existing business to first in the nation. Then I went to Secretary of State, where I simply honored the law. And so as for what I've done for the party, it's been I've been most proud and honored to serve our Republican Party for the last 12 years and fighting for the issues you care about most. That's why the Pinellas County Executive Committee has already endorsed me. The Federated Women's Groups around the state have already endorsed me statewide. And so I'm honored to continue that fight for you. We wouldn't be kowtowed by liberal media, the liberal media who wants us to lose. Do you think they would be attacking us so much if they weren't terrified we'd win? And as for the polls, we laugh at the polls. You can make polls say anything you want. When I ran statewide for Secretary of State, I was down 30 points, won with 20. So we've done it before, we can do it again. The governor was down 10 points a week before the election. He won with 10. The president was down. Even the day of the election, they said he'd lose, and won with 6 points. So ladies and gentlemen, all of our data shows that when we turn out our base, we win with 53%. We can take this U.S. Senate seat. We've done it before for every single solitary race, and we can do it again, but I need your help. Think about the difference between Bill Nelson and me. No one has the record that I have, not Bill Nelson or any of those that are running against me today. I'm the only candidate that's been fighting for immigration and against amnesty. This immigration bill, let me tell you about what we need to do. We have an emergency at our borders. We have 2,000 illegals flooding across every week. That's an emergency. And we voted in the House to make sure we secure that border, whether it's unmanned aerial vehicles, Border Patrol aerial, and the fences in the urban areas. The second issue is our labor. Florida has the most dynamic economy, but we need help. We need more labor in the agricultural arena, for our tourism-related industries, and certainly for construction in post-hurricane times. So we need to have them temporary, legal, and with a secure ID. And we passed a bill in the House that would do that as well. Bill Nelson voted for a bill that would, in essence, according to the Heritage Foundation, cost us $50 billion a year in social services for 100 million new citizens over the course of 20 years. We can't afford that from an economic standpoint or a security standpoint. It would also give them all more rights and privileges than you and I have. How many of you would like to only pay 3 of the last 5-year taxes and decide which of those 3 you would like to do? Do you think it's fair that those illegals who become citizens would have a chance to have their children come to this state and attend our universities at state resident rates, or be entitled to years of Social Security that they earned illegally? I don't, and we fought that. And so we don't need that kind of leadership from Bill Nelson. And we have an emergency at our borders, an urgent need in Florida. That's all we need to do. We've done that. And in terms of our economy is growing. 5 million new jobs. We have the lowest unemployment rates of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and that's even after the president inherited a recession. And we've had 2 wars, 9/11, the highest energy prices, and the worst natural disasters. We've done that because of one reason. That's tax relief. I voted to cut taxes, and I voted every time to make sure that we cut the waste. I even have a bill that does that. Bill Nelson is not voting to cut our taxes. In fact, he voted against eliminating the death penalty permanently. He's voted against all these other issues. I'm the only candidate that can compare and contrast. And let me tell you what we're going to do together. After the election, we're going to fight for tax reform. We're going to go around the state. We're going to have an educated electorate. We're going to talk about the fair tax. That now that we're going to tax what we spend instead of what we earn, it'll create millions, hundreds of millions of new dollars in revenue, all kinds of exciting new jobs. 30 seconds. Last of all, I want to talk about our traditional values. No other candidate has voted to support the marriage between a man and a woman, as I have. And we will take that to Bill Nelson. Look, I am going to stand for what's right, not what's popular. I think I have a history of doing that. I'm not going to kowtow to our party elite when, for example, the immigration bill is bad for Florida. I'm not going to kowtow to the media. I'm going to be the people's senator, and I'm going to fight for you. So fight for me. Thank you very much for having me today. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. With there being 4 candidates, I can keep my ear to the ground about there being a debate. I understand on the Orlando NBC station, you would say that you would debate everyone, but when Mr. Collins' campaign asked for debate last week, you declined, excuse me. So I just want to really all the candidates, are we going to have an opportunity to really differentiate with a debate?
That's what you're getting to do today. Today, you got a chance to see all the candidates firsthand, and we will continue to do this. We've done this across the state. Oftentimes, it's been Mr. Collins and me alone for the whole program. We're delighted to share our records, to show the differentiations between the two of us, to show the commitment to the state, what we've done over the course of the last few years. I've worked in small business, I've made a payroll, and I work for you in government every day. I've proven that I have a record not only of making campaign promises, but delivering. I think it's clearly evident. We are delighted to be together in this group every time we can. And there have been numerous times that we have been with Mr. Collins and all the others, and we look forward to continuing that. We have a full agenda. We have an exciting time for the rest of this primary time, and then on to the general. Because you need to know something. You need to vote for a candidate that is going to be able to beat Bill Nelson. I'm the only one with the name recognition. I'm the only one with the record that has voted contrary to Bill Nelson, that we can tell the story. And clearly, when people see the contrast, when we talk to 500 people in Palm Beach, the vast majority of whom were Democrats and independents, we were swarmed later, and they said, if Bill Nelson's voting record really is as you say, and if your record really is as you say, there is no way we could vote for them. Now, they may be Ted Kennedy Democrats, and they may go for Bill Nelson, but when the National Journal shows that its voting record is to the left of Hillary Clinton and Charles Schumer, there's something wrong with that. Think about it. Let's see, Frist is in the 20s, McCain is in the 40s, Hillary Clinton is at 70. Charles Schumer is at 71. Do you know where Bill Nelson is? 76.7. Last year's records, okay, so Hillary Clinton is more conservative than Bill Nelson. I would say that the liberals are being a little disingenuous when they call him moderate. What would you say? I think it's kind of silly to single one out. I think we have the opportunity to show everyone and compare and contrast. And there's no reason to try to help somebody else in single digits when we're all competing. And I'm proud to have the chance for everyone to see head-to-head. I think that's important. And I'm grateful for your support. Thank you all so very much for everything you're doing for us. Go to electharris.org. Please put on a bumper sticker. That influences dozens of other people. And know this, I will not kowtow. I've been tried and tested, and I will stand for you. But stand them down. We're going to fight, and we're going to win in November. Thank you all, and God bless you all.
I appreciate your opinion, but I'm saying...
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to address that? I think Katherine said
what
she
did you
would.
pass in the state that protected Florida?
My understanding is that we have provision in the state constitution right now that gives that protection in the Florida Constitution.
In doing so, each state had the opportunity to pass a bill such as this. The problem is, in Massachusetts, for example, where